And that's California Governor Gavin Newsom blaming politics for the DOJ investigation into his and his wife's finances. This is days before the investigation became public. Newsom was fined over $31,000 for a late reporting of more than $5.5 million in charitable donations. Joining me now is California Post opinion editor Joel Pollak. Joel, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. What's your take on this investigation?
Well, first of all, it wasn't just charitable donations. He was fined for failing to report what are called behested payments. These are payments that are allowed in California, where politicians ask donors to give money to charities of their choice. And in Newsom's case, the charity he was asking donors to give to was run by his wife. So that creates conflicts of interest, as does the fact that some of the donors had interests before the state. And the implication is that if you gave a little money to the governor's wife's charity, maybe the governor would be a little bit more inclined to favor your position as opposed to somebody else's. So that is already in the public domain. We don't know what else the DOJ is digging up. There are reports that they're looking into Jennifer Siebel Newsom's tax returns. But I can say this. We don't know whether these investigations are politically motivated or not. It didn't help John Bolton when he said that the investigation into his misuse of classified information was politically motivated. He just recently pleaded guilty. So that doesn't actually explain whether Newsom is guilty or not. And if Newsom were being honest with the voters of California, he would come clean about what these behested payments are instead of waiting until beyond the deadline to account for them.
Wow. Meanwhile, prediction markets show positive movement for Newsom's presidential ambitions. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't really pay a lot of attention to prediction markets. If prediction markets were correct, Eric Swalwell would be the leading candidate for governor today. He had over 2/3% likelihood. You know, prediction markets have some value, mostly the same as anecdotal value. We believe in them because we think insiders are making money, often inappropriately, by trading on information that they only have access to. But often prediction markets are just getting the same garbage in, garbage out that the rest of us are getting from the media. And so I don't really place too much stock in them. But I will say that Newsom is leading a race to the bottom. Democrats seem to believe that the most important thing about 2028 is being the most anti-Trump candidate they possibly can be, even though Trump will not be on the ballot. And if Democrats thought that doing a good job was the criterion for being the presidential nominee, you would see Newsom clearing brush in California. You would see him actually balancing the state budget instead of dipping $20 billion into the reserves. You'd see him cleaning up crime. You'd see him helping rebuild in Pacific Palisades. You don't see him doing that. And he actually has no track record of accomplishments in California to talk about. He's got high-speed rail that doesn't go anywhere. He's got reservoirs that were planned and never built. He's got Delta tunnels that were reduced from 2 to 1 and then never built. He basically has a resume of zero, and so he has to go after Trump. But luckily for him, that's what Democrats have an appetite for right now.
Wow, that's amazing. And Joel, I spoke with California Congressman Ro Khanna here last week, and he admitted basically what he's looking for after I questioned him on his own White House aspirations. Watch this. Look, bottom line here, you've been testing the waters openly. You've been coming on a lot, talking about all these other issues beyond just your own portfolio. Do you want to break some news? Are you running in 28?
Look, I believe that the central issue is the economic divide in this country. And I have a vision of economic patriotism. I want that platform out there. Look, I was speaking to the Teamsters. I'll just take this 20 seconds on this point. And I was going through my whole economic plan. And then I said, I know a lot of people out here have voted for Trump. And you know what? We've got to stop insulting each other. We've got to start working together. We've got to start to figure out a united purpose in this country.
I think you answered my question.
Plan for America. Well,
I think you answered my question. The answer is yes.
I love coming on here because,
Congressman, you're running on Trump's agenda. You're running on Trump's agenda. He's building up America. He's getting the supply chains to America. You're running on Trump's agenda. That's it. We got it.
Trump identified a lot of the problems, but I have 21st century solutions for them. And I enjoy coming on, Maria. We'll see what I'll do after the midterms.
Yeah, it's interesting because everything that he said, Joel, was exactly what President Trump has already done. You know, he says, oh, we can't rely on China. Well, he's been an elected official for a lot longer than President Trump has been in politics. How come he hasn't done anything before President Trump had to come and force corporate America to get their supply chains to America and not rely on China for prescription drugs, for example?
Well, Ro Khanna symbolizes everything that's wrong with American politics today. So he comes on your show and he styles himself as a moderate who can talk to Trump voters. But actually, he's become a left-wing extremist over the last few years as he, like Gavin Newsom, tries to position himself for 2028. He went from being the Silicon Valley congressman to supporting the billionaire tax that would gut the wealth of Silicon Valley and kill innovation. He's also become a raging anti-Semite, and he supports the most anti-Israel politicians he possibly can find. And this is, again, from a congressman who represents Silicon Valley, where Israelis work and Israel has significant investments and cross-pollination. And finally, he made the Epstein files his big issue. He smeared people from the House floor so he couldn't be sued under the speech and debate clause. And then after all that, he goes and backs Graham Plattner in Maine, who has credible sexual misconduct allegations against him. And according to Ro Khanna, that's just fine, but somehow Jeffrey Epstein isn't. He is really the worst of American politics, and I think he's good on cable shows, but I don't think he's going to make any headway in a Democratic primary, and I really think he represents everything Americans detest about politics. We see politicians doing this all the time. They pretend to be one kind of person, and then they become another kind of person when they're looking for votes.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, once again, we have no idea what's going on in the gubernatorial race. I mean, Steve Hilton and Javier Becerra remain neck and neck in the Golden State's gubernatorial election this November. I spoke with Steve Hilton on this program earlier this month, and here's what he said about his policies that he thinks could flip California red. Watch this.
I'm feeling confident but not complacent. We've got the chance to seriously change California, to get us off the track of this insane policy agenda we've had now for 16 years of the Democrats running everything, to get the taxes down, to get the regulations down so we can have business coming back to California instead of leaving, to stop all this insane climate extremism, all the things that have given us the highest poverty rate, the highest unemployment rate, the highest cost of living in the country. We can turn all that around if we put me in the top two to face a Democrat in November, because here's the most important point. 56% of Californians think the state is on the wrong track and needs change. And we've got a real shot at winning in November. But in order to do that, everyone has to vote.
What do you think, Joel?
Steve Hilton has a problem in California, which is just that there are so many Democrats that vote straight party line. Javier Becerra, who has some tangential relation, at least maybe deeper relation, to the corruption scandal unfolding in Sacramento around Gavin Newsom and the mutual aids that they shared in common, he could be indicted, and I think he might still win a California gubernatorial race because the best Republican will always have trouble beating the worst Democrat in California. However, Steve Hilton's campaign is doing a lot of very useful work in highlighting important issues, coming up with policy solutions. And so I think what he needs to do is get really creative to start getting attention, getting out there and convincing people he can govern. Because if this is a typical election like so many are in California, you're going to see people vote straight party ID, and they will vote for failing policies and failing politicians unless you give them a really good reason to do otherwise. And I hope to see that from him.
All right, we'll be watching all of that. Joel, great to catch up. Thanks so much.